Good morning. Welcome to our soulful Sunday. Let the Sunday be beautiful and full of learnings. And let's start our morning with the power of states programming. Let's go and add power to our dreams. Welcome back to this beautiful journey of learning to choose why we don't choose something and understanding the very fact behind it. So many of us in life have started projects and we can't complete. वो शुरू करते excitement से, passion से, enthusiasm से, and then somewhere we just leave it like a hot cake. But let's understand that we are not alone in this journey. There are so many like us who do that if we do that. So let's understand. Ruchi, please help me. Yes, please.
I never finish anything. For me, starting something is the most exhilarating part. Optimism, the promise, the passion, the absolutely giddy feeling of excitement that always happens for me when I begin a new thing. The trouble is, very soon the gloss disappears, the hard work has to begin, and I start to feel lost. I look around my house and see all the unfinished projects I have started with such gusto and never got back to. But they are sitting here staring at me, reminding me of my failure to complete another project. I work enthusiastically and then crash, and the whole thing looks stupid, so I give up. Why don't scanners finish what they start? If you identify with the quotes at the top of this page, you're not alone. Enthusiastic starts that fizzle out are almost every scanner's major concern. Why don't scanners complete their projects? Gillian, an Australian homemaker and mother, was recently discussing this problem on my bulletin board. I always think I have found my passion and I get so fired up, she wrote. But it never lasts. If only I could find something that would stick and never let go. But a few hours after she wrote those words, she seemed to find exactly what she was looking for. Someone mentioned a relative who was a midwife, and Gillian responded with excitement. That's something I have thought about for years. I know I would love that. If only I knew where to start. I happen to have a neighbor who is a midwife and a world renowned lecturer and teacher of midwifery. So I immediately put her in touch with Gillian. And then Gillian, who had previously been a daily presence on the bulletin board, simply disappeared. It's not uncommon to get cold feet when the perfect contact shows up virtually on your doorstep, but it usually passes. However, Gillian was gone too long. Concerned, I finally emailed to see if she was okay. She answered promptly. Thanks for asking. I'm fine. I did act on talking to Georgia and the Midwifery Council here. I learned that my idea of what I would enjoy in being a midwife is different from the reality. I guess at my heart of hearts, I'm still waiting for the thing to show up rather than a thing. though I'm not sure how I would recognize it even if it did exist. I pulled her back to the specifics. What part of the program didn't you like, Gillian? Was it different than you had expected? Oh, midwifery isn't the problem. I am, she said. I am the same with everything. Last year, I started a newsletter and shut it down after 2 issues. I just felt worse and worse the more I got into it. I like to plan, but I don't like to act. I feel like I was born a runner, but now I live in a wheelchair. Des- the desire is there, but I'm incapable of follow through. I scolded her lightly for her tone. Gillian, everybody loves planning better than action, and no one wants to continue a newsletter after the first 2 issues. What exactly happened? But I couldn't get a real answer, just a litany of the typical labels too many scanners pin on themselves. She said she tended to be lazy, to drop the ball, to have a short attention span, even to be stupid. Out of curiosity, I went looking for her other messages on my bulletin board. And here are some excerpts from what I found.
So
My middle
understand one thing. A lot of scanners are there जो एक चीज शुरू करते हैं with a lot of gusto, with a lot of excitement, with a lot of passion, and then they drop it like a hot cake, or they just shift from that goal and they say this is now working out, and then they start blaming themselves. This is my problem. I've always had it. I get cold feet or I can't decide. I'm indecisive. When you say such stuff, you're again and again putting in your subconscious mind that this is your programming and this is how you'll always be. Now let's look at the message she wrote on the bulletin board. It's like a platform which they're using to communicate with all of the students. So Barbara Sher has a bulletin board. Here's what she wrote. So let's understand.
My middle child has severe allergies and spent many hours researching the immune system, chemical sensitivities, making my own lotions and potions to use on her skin, how to keep our home healthy, etc. That was 5 years ago, and my little girl is doing great. I even started a successful little business making and selling natural bath beauty products, but the work got too repetitive, so I stopped. I was going to study metaphysics, got right up to Wittgenstein, and when he said philosophy was ended, I had to agree with him. I once got interested in physics, life, the universe, and everything. My math is beyond lousy, but I read most of the popular books on the topic. Wanted to know what the basis of matter is. I got really caught up in becoming a wealthy investor and about all the different theories on personal finance. I saw it was all simple and constant, and once I learned that, I lost interest. There was more, but I had seen enough. Gillian was clearly neither lazy nor stupid, but she had it all wrong when she said she never finished anything. She finished everything she started, just like those honeybees I mentioned earlier.
What does this mean? It means she stops at the point where she's gotten what she had come for. Not everyone wants to reach the end. They have a particular goal, a particular purpose. Once they reach, they're there and then they stop. So why do we stop? Let's understand.
The reason you stop when you do, you got what you came for. If you're like Gillian and you start new projects with a rush of enthusiasm, but soon lose interest, you have almost certainly finished what you started. It just doesn't look that way to anyone else. True, sometimes you may get overexcited and become scared and stop before you get what you came for. Your subconscious defense mechanisms hear all that excitement as an alarm and try to protect you by making you crash. You shouldn't give up at those times because after a while, your interest will return in a calmer form and you can continue. Most times, you don't lose interest until you get exactly what you came for. Remember the rewards and durations discussed in chapter 2. What's wrong with me? When a honeybee gets the nectar it came for, it loses interest in that flower and heads over to another one. When a scanner leaves a project, it's for the same reason. Now, why does it appear to the world that you have quit too soon? You
So
might
there
have.
are some reasons why scanners quit. And those reasons are very familiar to some of us. So those of you who are scanners and you agree with it, you can probably put in the chat box. This is a reason why I think I keep jumping and I keep quitting. And people can say quitting, but actually we've finished our purpose there, and that's why we want to move on. What are those reasons? Let's understand.
You might have taken in the information faster than everyone else. Some scanners and non scanners as well are simply too fast for the programs they are in. They finish early and lack the patience to wait for everyone else. Maybe you're a visionary or a leader. Scanners love beginnings and can set the course and inspire the crew. For them, that's the only interesting part. They don't want to take the voyage. They would rather start something new. Perhaps you are a designer. I am great at starting, conceiving, and planning things, but once I figure out the design problems, I lose interest. I guess I don't want to do the hard work that comes after that, a woman told me. Maybe you are a designer, I answered. Maybe someone else wouldn't think the follow through was such hard work. I think she stared at me for a full minute without a word. No one ever said that to me before, she answered finally. There are many reasons scanners finish before anyone expects them to, but they all have the same pattern. While the interesting part was there to keep them, scanners stayed. When it was gone, they left. But none of these reasons explained why Gillian had stopped pursuing her interest in midwifery so abruptly. After some persistence, I finally got a clear answer from her. I read one of my sister's nursing manuals on birth when I was about 15 or so, and I was surprised a baby ever gets born safely with all the things that can go wrong. I guess I have been fascinated with the process ever since. I wanted to learn midwifery because I thought I would be training to be a medical advisor through pregnancy and to research into abnormal births. I was eager to learn everything, the medical field, human biology, especially if it could help bring a dependent life baby safely into the world. But the program doesn't focus on medical research, which is certainly fine. But when I realized that, another big enthusiasm fizzled out. I can't seem to stick with anything.
So again, let's understand the very first line she says. So this lady wants to help bring children in the world with all social nuances or all absolute precautions and everything. And at the age of 15, she read these nursing manuals on birth. Now the nursing manuals gave her all the information that she needed. So she has been there, she's done it all. And then when you say, okay, let's start formal training by a medical advisor, now, the same training will come to her again, what she's read in the manual. So, what she was eager to learn, she's actually learned already. So, why will she be interested? Let's understand further.
A conclusion. Something was wrong with her. But how did she end up there? Nothing could be simpler. Gillian wanted to learn medicine and use her knowledge to rescue babies. She had already shown that she could do it with her independent studies about allergies and the improved health of her daughter. But what she wanted wasn't in the midwifery program. So, why on earth would she want to continue? It was so obvious. Why didn't she see that? I explained how odd her conclusion was, given the facts. You know what you want. You found it wasn't there. Now you can look somewhere else. That's what you're supposed to do. The problem wasn't Gillian, but she and so many other scanners do have a different problem. If they wanted to buy a pair of shoes and accidentally walked into a pet store, they would blame themselves for not wanting dog food. And when they walked out empty handed, they would call themselves quitters. And that is a problem. But something Gillian said in one of her letters gave me a clue to what might help to solve that problem. I
So,
started.
some the scanners have a problem. Now, the problem is they think they're the biggest problem. Scanners think we are stuck, we do not know what to do now. We start and we stop. Definitely, I am wrongly built. I can't seem to complete. I always lose attention focus because कुछ programming की problem मुझ में है. And when they keep saying that, that is what it keeps jumping around. So now, have you ever had that feeling where you start something and you stop initially only? And you're like, oh my God, itna prep up kiya tha, paisa kharch kiya, time kharch kiya, but just see, I can't do it anymore. Why does that happen? Now, rather than telling yourself, I have a problem, start understanding that you're a scanner and it's inherent nature in you not to stick to something. When the excitement is over, the party is over. You don't want to continue. Now the party can drop till 4 o'clock for other people, but you want to leave at 12 because your time is good. You've managed everything out of it. And now it's time for you to go back. You don't want to stick to the end. So that's okay to accept. It's okay to be not okay, right? So now, have you ever had that feeling where you're not being able to stick with something? Now let's understand the science as well.
If you are a scanner who can't stick with anything, I already know the answer. You most certainly have had that feeling. But have you ever thought about what it is? I will tell you one thing I know. This feeling is the cause of every scanner's energy and joy. Learning, discovering, sleuthing, creating. Make scanners pull back from every job or project no matter how hard they try to stay. Nothing could be more important than understanding when and why you have this feeling. It's at the heart of what makes you a scanner.
But
But
please, when you have that feeling, go deep within and ask yourself, what is that I began this intention with? Have I learned? Have I discovered? Have I found my calling, or is there anything which is left here? Why am I not able to stick to something? Because I'm a scan and probably I've got something out. Please don't, rather than jumping yourself into a platform and saying, ah, मैं तो ऐसी हूँ, हमेशा ऐसे करती हूँ. No, understand the reason. Understand that something could be sitting right there in front of you, which you can't see. And nothing could be more important than understanding yourself. Why are you here? When did you come? Have you got it out? Understand that, because it's all about feelings. What feelings are you feeling? Let's go further.
But understanding the when and the why is not something scanners want to do because the feeling is so unpleasant, they just want it to stop and never willingly stay long enough to see what it is. The result, not only don't they understand what that bad feeling is, they automatically assume it's a flaw in their makeup, a lack of character, even a desire to fail. Like Gillian, they conclude there is something wrong with them. If that rings even the littlest bell, I want you to stop what you're doing and start an important investigation.
Why do you why do you feel that? अच्छा, जब low feel करते हैं and बोलते हैं अरे मैं तो ऐसी ही हूँ, all the old memories come back and you're like, oh, this is my problem, this is my problem. And now in that feeling zone, you're attracting something more of that which you don't need. So let's understand that how do we understand how to get out of this zone. ठीक है, आ गई फीलिंग भी आ गई, अब पता है अनप्लेजेंट है, पता है नहीं होनी चाहिए, फिर भी हो रही है. सो क्या करना चाहिए? Let's understand this little thing, name that feeling, and we will try and do this in a meditation also. So what is that name that feeling all about? Now, very simply, it's about 20 minutes of being in solitude and being in absolute quiet atmosphere where it's just you and you. Now, here, what you do is you pull out your day book, the scanner day notebook when you started, and we pick up a pen. Now, we think back to the times where we tried to stick with the project after we lost interest in it. Pretend you're in the situation again and recreate the experience of having to focus your attention on the task. So very simply हमें जाना है बाहर, कहाँ कहाँ क्या क्या चीजें थी जो हमने शुरू करी और खत्म नहीं करी, या हमने ट्राई किया कि इसको आगे भी बढ़ा ले, लेकिन इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो चुका था फिर भी बढ़ा रहे हैं. उससे क्या होगा? वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड एनालाइजिंग हाउ वी आर बिल्ट. नाउ हाउ डज इट मेक यू फील? कैसा लगता है हमें जब हम रिक्रिएट करते हैं, कोई अटेंशन किसी चीज पे देते हैं जो अब खत्म हो चुका है? Does the feeling get more intense the longer you continue this fantasy? What is that feeling about? Describe it the best you can. Be sure to take your time. This will not be fun, but if you do a thorough job, you won't ever have to do it again. Continue writing until you've described everything you can about what you are feeling. When you're done, read about what other scanners have said. So are you understanding हमें क्या करना है? हमें एज अ स्कैनर अपनी डे बुक में जाकर बहुत क्लियरली लिखना है कि वो क्या चीज थी जो मैंने शुरू करी बड़े इंतुजियाज्म से, बड़े गस्टो से, बड़े पैशन से, और फिर छोड़ दी. क्यों छोड़ दी? कुछ मेरा पैशन खत्म हो गया, इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो गया, बट मैंने फिर भी कहा कि नहीं नहीं करना ही है, इस बार तो ये करके देखेंगे. और मैंने आगे किया, क्या किया और कैसी फीलिंग आई उसमें. उसको कीप एनालाइजिंग, तो फीलिंग को समझना सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. आइए लेट्स हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन. इनफैक्ट लेट्स हैव फ्यू थिंग्स व्हाट स्कैनर्स से. सो रोजा ने क्या बोला? Rosa says, I felt like I was being locked away from everything that would make me happy. I want to struggle to get free. So, usko feeling ho rahi hai ki somebody's like, ekdam jailed me up. Howard says, if I knew I stayed at what I was doing, my life would be drab and boring. Rennie kehte hain, it was like going down a tunnel and thinking I'd never see the sun again. It was such a bad feeling. So एक बोलता है boring हो रहा है, एक बोलता है अरे the feeling is bad because it's like I'm going down and down and down. Now आप क्या लिखते हैं depends upon completely upon you. But please do the exercise to understand कि अगर हमें स्कैनर वर्ल्ड की माइंडसेट से बाहर निकलना है, ब्लेम गेम अपने आप को करने से, so we must do this therapy with ourselves. If you wrote something similar, you've named that feeling. For the sake of easy identification, let's call it the bad feeling. Now, confronting it is very, very powerful stuff because that feeling drives you away. And from every project you've lost, you have been driven away. Why? Because of that feeling that comes again and again and again. But remember one thing: feelings have a memory. अगर एक चीज में हमें इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो गया और फीलिंग आ रही है, नेक्स्ट टाइम कुछ चीज में इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो जाएगा, वो सेम फीलिंग आएगी. सो उस फीलिंग को समझना इंपॉर्टेंट है. Identifying the bad feeling lets us draw a few conclusions about why you and all scanners don't finish what you start. So let's identify. पहली बात तो we all leave a project because staying there would make it intolerable. Second, staying would be intolerable because nothing you want is there. कुछ है ही नहीं तो मैं क्यों रुकूं? If you stayed, you'd have to accept being unhappy. अब मैं यहाँ पर हूँ और कुछ मिल भी नहीं रहा. Obviously मुझे तो कुछ खुशी तो मिल नहीं रहा. Why am I lingering on? Why am I sticking on? And number 4, trying to accept being unhappy is just crazy. इसको ना फीलिंग को कह रहे मैं अनहैप्पी हूँ, ऐसे ही रहूंगा, ऐसे ही आता रहेगा, मुझे तो पता है हर साल ऐसे आता है, हर मौके पे ऐसे आता है, इज रॉन्ग. वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फीलिंग हमें क्या स्टोरी बता रही है अपने बारे में. इट्स नॉट टू बी टेकन लाइटली. फीलिंग अगर है, पहली बात तो एक्सेप्ट करना है. 90% हम लोग तो डिनायल में रहते हैं कि नहीं नहीं, हम एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करते ना. जो प्रोफाउंड डिस्कम्फर्ट हमें आता है, जो डीप अंदर से आता है, सो पावरफुल. इट्स ऑल्सो गॉट प्रिमिटिव सर्वाइवल मैकेनिज्म्स. They're telling you that if you stay, you could harm yourself. And I'll show you in a moment they're probably right. क्यों राइट है? जब हम अपने आप को ब्लेम करते हैं विद बैड फीलिंग्स, जिसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा, सर पर नहीं समझ आ रहा ये फीलिंग हो क्यों रही है, हम उसको इग्नोर करते हैं या उसके साथ रहते हैं. हम क्रिटिसाइज 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 करते रहते हैं अपने आप को कि मेरे बस की बात नहीं है, मैं नहीं कर सकता, मेरी प्रॉब्लम है. And that is when you've allowed these feelings to drive you away from a project. You were doing the right thing. So आपने उस समय उसको एक्सेप्ट करके अपने प्रोजेक्ट से अपने आप को दूर जाने के लिए शायद उस समय सही किया. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या करी आपने? फ्यूचर के लिए सेम कंडीशनिंग को न्योता दे दिया. क्योंकि आपने उसको इनवाइट किया एंड एक्सेप्ट किया और आपने बोला दिस इज हाउ आई एम. So that's what happens. Now let's understand how do we change that. How many times have you said that to yourself before right now? If you are like most scanners, the answer is none. So take a little time to enjoy it. You were right all along. But what if a chance success comes along? Don't you have to take it no matter what you feel? So let's understand that अब हमने अपनी feeling को समझा है. Now there's something that we most have to understand in life is that we have to accept the feeling. We most the problem is we can't become escapist. जब कभी बैड फीलिंग आती है, बैड फीलिंग को भी क्वेश्चन करना है कि मुझे पता है कि आप आए हो, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि आप क्यों आए हो, मुझे ये भी पता है कि हमेशा आप आते हो, but I don't want to now blame myself or criticize anybody for it. What have you come to teach me? Ask the feeling that question. And then when you get an answer, if you get an answer, then stay with that thing. And if you don't get an answer, then stay with that also. That's okay. Abhi nahi aa raha, mujhe pata hai, I trust the process of life, aage aayega. And 99% there are chances which are going to come along which take us in a better space. So now the question is, अगर अच्छा चांस आगे सक्सेस करने का, so don't we have to take it कैसा भी फील करे, करना या मरने वाली सिचुएशन है कि नहीं. Let's understand. We all could be wasting a great opportunity. Let's read it, please.
Opportunity. Sometimes that lovely word carries a very dark message. We have all had the painful experience of seeing one of our ideas or inventions show up in the marketplace under someone else's name because we didn't follow through on it. Obviously, we think if you don't stick with something, no matter what feelings you have, you can pass up your chance of becoming a success. When you don't seize opportunity, you are a quitter, even a failure. Actually, that's quite an assumption. The notion that you must do something with every project that interests you or you have wasted your time and your talent. it deserves a closer look. Why does every bright idea have to be an opportunity to become accomplished, rich, and famous? Even if you are the kind of person who finishes everything you start, you couldn't harness all your ideas anyway. Artist Vic Muniz says it best. Ideas make you do a lot of work. It's like I have a whole bunch of people in my head telling me what to do, but there is only one guy to do it all. Even if even with a load of helpers, no scanner can develop every idea or become a specialist in every field that interests her. After all, you are a scanner, and you would never want to be kept away from all the other great ideas you could be having. But what's the point of getting wildly enthusiastic and diving into all these new ideas if you're not going to do something with them? Why would you continue to do this? Are you being frivolous? No. Is something else going on? Yes. It's the other powerful feeling at the heart of what makes you a scanner, the good feeling.
Now let's talk about the good feelings. पहली बात तो हमें bad feelings आते हैं when we can't continue something. ना हम सब आइडियाज से भरे हुए हैं कि जब कोई प्रोजेक्ट का आइडिया आएगा खूब सारे दिमाग में ये कर लो ये कर लो ये कर लो ये कर लो करना हमको ये बट आइडियाज बोलने वाले बहुत सारी चीजें आती हैं हम एंथुसियास्टिक भी हो जाते हैं वी डाइव इनटू इट एंड वी लाइक ओके लेट्स डू इट तो क्या हम टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं क्या हम समझ नहीं पा रहे कि व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन बट जब अच्छे वो ड्रिवन एनर्जी आती है ना दैट इज कॉल्ड द गुड एनर्जी द गुड फीलिंग कि ये भी कर लो ये भी कर लो ये भी कर लो. Now let's understand what good feeling zone kya hota hai. Are we in that place? 90% of you will say, yes, I'm in that place. So we'll listen to about 4 examples. Let's start with Jess.
Jess, the most wonderful moment in the world is standing on the edge just before I plunge in and thinking about all the wonderful things that might be waiting for me there.
तो इस पे क्या होता है ओवर ऑप्टिमिस्टिक एटीट्यूड होता है हमारा कि ये शुरू हो गया ना बॉस ऐसे हो जाएगा अमेजिंग है लाइक यू सो फुल ऑफ जेस्ट. Second, let's see what Lucia says.
Lucia, my favorite feeling is the one I had when I had gotten rid of almost everything I owned, and all I had was a round the world open dated plane ticket, a few $1,000s, and my backpack. That's the feeling that drives me on in all my interest. That what's going to happen next feeling. Mark, when I see a puzzle, my mouth waters. I'm like a dog with a bone. I can't wait to gnaw on it and until I get the answer. Diane, I love East Coast music from Canada. Actually, I love it so much that it makes me feel like I'm going to burst into tears sometimes. It's the only thing that I've ever experienced that makes me feel that way. Anyway, I stumbled upon a new interest, the Irish whistle. I've decided that I want to learn how to play it, and then I want to compete in the all Irish competition and win. And then I want to be invited to play with my favorite East Coast bands or becoming a recording artist. I almost can't breathe right now because I'm so excited about the Irish whistle. Will I be fantastic and finally realize my ongoing dream of fame and glory? Could this be it, the thing that I have been looking for? Or will it just be something else that will be fun for a few months and I will drop it and move on to other things?
So again, understanding ourselves, why we pick up something and why we leave it could also be the reason that ab kuch naya aa gaya. So some people who are scanners, they keep shifting from one thing to another because aaj ek cheez mein wo interest khatam ho chuka hai, right? Now Barbara says, if you're like me, all you can think when a whistle player talks about and dropping an interest in a few months is, so what? It'll be worth it. Like as Minnie says, Meenakshi says, I deserve something better, and my interest has moved on. So it is. And where can I buy one of those whistles? Maybe the next agenda's plan comes in your mind. You see, your mind gets fired up for its own reasons, and they aren't always connected with accomplishment. Diane may want to be a champion at the Irish whistle, but happy dendrites firing off in her brain might not care about that at all. On the other hand, if the path to championship continues to be stimulating, joyful, and delightful, Diane will follow that path because she'll be pulled by the power of the good feeling. So जहाँ good feeling आती है ना, उसको follow करना बहुत important है. Bad feeling आई तो उसको accept करना कि okay, this is it. Now I need to move on. Tomorrow we'll talk about that other feeling also, which हमने एक बैड फीलिंग डिस्कस करी, अब हम एक गुड फीलिंग कर बात करेंगे, प्लस we'll talk about how we can go forward in our journey with a little advice from Barbara shared and other people. So now it's time for sun salutations. Let's do a Surya Pranam and let's then get our wishes, our blessings.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaye Namaha. Om Bhaskaraye Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuthanasan, Madhahastasan, left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position, and now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukh Shvanasan. Ashtang Namaskar, Bhujangasan, Parvatasan, left forward Ashvasanchalanasan, Padahastasan, Hastuthanasan, Pranamasan. On the right side, prayer position, raised arms pose, hand to feet pose, right leg back, equestrian pose, mountain pose, hold mountain pose, and slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs, cobra, press back to mountain, right forward equestrian pose, hand to feet pose, raised arms position, prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Now we'll move to our wonderful book, which is so important in life to understand, to adopt, to intertwine with our being. And here we are in Letting Go by David R. Hawkins, and we're going to read about Anatomy of Emotions, chapter number 3. And here we'll understand how our emotions, how we are emotional beings, feeling beings, and what is our entire intention. There are numerous complicated psychologies of the human emotions. They often involve considerable symbology and references to mythology, and they are based on hypotheses that are hotly debated. As a result, there are various schools of psychotherapy with the different aims and methods. Simplicity is one of the earmarks of truth. So we will describe a simple, workable, testable map of the emotions that can be verified by subjective experience as well as by objective testing. The first is, what is a survival instinct? The goal of survival. Now, whichever psychology studied reveals that the primary human goal, superseding all others, is survival. Every human desires, seeks to ensure one's personal survival and the survival of one's identified groups, such as family, loved ones, and country. So the one thing we must understand is that we want to all the time, we are trained, we are psyched, or we are prepared, or we are guided, or we are conditioned to first save ourselves. And whoever stands to torture, torment, or come in the way of the survival of our loved ones, we will be fighting for it, come what may. Now, हम सब में inherent nature होता है fear का. Initially, when we became from an ape to an early man, we were fearful of the animals. And let me tell you something, even in animals, fear is very, very predominant. The only difference between animals and human beings is intellect. So humans fear, most of all, the loss of the capacity to experience. To that end, people are interested in the survival of the body because they believe that they are the body and therefore they need the body to experience existence. But what is the truth? Tell me, everyone, what is the truth? Are we the body? But we identify, I am Ruchi, I'm Asmeet, I'm Prachi, I'm Jitendra. We are saying that. But what is the truth? And then we become so attached to this thing. And then what's happening? Actually, who are we? Are we the body? I need to have the chat answers. Who are we? We are the soul. Thank you. Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you, Dr. Kamakshi. Because people view themselves as separate and limited, they are stressed by their sense of lack. It is common for human beings to look outside of themselves for satisfaction of their needs. This leads them to experience something as vulnerable because they are insufficient unto themselves. So we are all finding चीजें outside, like even कोई solution चाहिए तो कोई आ जाए, कोई बता दे, कुछ सिखा दे. मुझे खुद तो नहीं आता, मैं बाहर खोज रहा. Excuse me. So this is where we are concerned. We are looking for stuff outside, external help. Mind, that's why the mind is a survival mechanism. That's how it's trained with. And its method of survival is primarily the use of emotions. Thoughts are engendered by the emotions, and eventually emotions become shorthand for thoughts. Thousands, even millions of thoughts can be replaced by a single emotion. Please understand this line. एक भी emotion को replace करने के लिए हमारे पास thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of thoughts हैं. अगर हम एक emotion को बदलते हैं तो वो thoughts भी बदल जाती हैं. We are actually, जो हमारा emotion, हमारा heart होता है, वो manifest होता है. हम बोल कुछ भी रहे हैं methodically, ऊपर से affirmations बोल रहे कर रहे हैं. हाँ, longer process में subconscious mind conditioning जरूर हो रही है. But ultimately emotions क्या हैं? दिल क्या गवाही दे रहा है? दिल क्या agree कर रहा है? Emotions are most basic and primitive than mental processes. Reason is a tool the mind uses to achieve its emotional ends. So हमें एक feeling हो रही है तो उसके साथ 56,000 thoughts आ रहे हैं. Now, when used by the intellect, the buddhi, that's the only thing which is given to the human kingdom, the basic underlying emotion is usually unconscious or at least out of awareness. हमें पता ही नहीं होता क्या हो रहा है, subconsciously चल रहा है, पता ही नहीं programming चल रही है. Now, when the underlying emotion is forgotten or ignored and not experienced, people are unaware of the reason for their action and they develop all kinds of plausible reasons. पता ही नहीं क्यों हो रहा है, फिर भी हम करते जा रहे हैं. एंड हमने इसको एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया, कुछ हमने इसको चैनल नहीं किया, हमने इसको अंडरस्टैंड नहीं किया, हमने बस जज किया, क्रिटिसाइज किया, ब्लेम किया. In fact, they are frequently, we don't even know what we are doing and we are simply doing. Mechanically चल रहा है, ऑटोपायलट मोड पे चल रहा है, पता ही नहीं है क्यों फीलिंग आई, क्यों इमोशन आया, बस हो रहा है. Now, कैसे इसकी अवेयरनेस में आए, कैसे कॉन्शियस हो? There is a simple way to become conscious of the underlying emotional goal behind any activity through use of one question. What for? What am I doing this for? And with every what for, मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ? क्यों, क्यों, क्यों? With every क्यों का जवाब, you ask again and again and again until the basic feeling is uncovered. An example to understand this would be, एक आदमी कैडिलैक ओन करना चाहता है. His mind gives all the logical reasons, but logic really doesn't explain it. So he asks himself, why do I want the Cadillac? Well, it is to achieve status, recognition, respect, solid citizenship, success, etc. ऐसी इतनी strong गाड़ी आएगी, so I will be recognized more in society. That's why I want the Cadillac. अब फिर question करो क्यों? Why do I want status for? मुझे respect मिलेगी, approval मिलेगा दूसरों से. Then he might say, and to ensure respect again. So why do I want respect and approval from others? Otherwise, jawab will be security aayegi. So what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What do I need security for? A, to feel happy. Now this continual questioning, ये प्रश्नी भाव अपने आप से प्रश्न करना बार बार क्यों 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 से रिवील होगा आप की फीलिंग्स क्या हैं, डीप डार्क फीलिंग्स क्या हैं. आप रियलाइज कर पाएंगे, ओ दिस इज माय प्रॉब्लम, ये जड़ है मेरी, ये रूट कॉज है. एंड व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड द रूट कॉज, योर लाइफ विल चेंज. हाउ? What for will reveal that basically their feelings of insecurity, unhappiness, and lack of fulfillment. Now, all of us in this world, we don't think we are whole and complete. We're always looking for something there, something nurturing, something that we require. And that is coming because एक चाह है कि ओके ये करूंगा तो कंप्लीट फील करूंगा, ऐसा होगा सिक्योर फील करूंगा, ऐसा होगा तो आई विल बी इन अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ लव, ऐसा होगा तो कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, because अभी कमी है. Now every activity or desire will reveal that the basic goal is to have a certain kind of feeling. There are no goals than to overcome fear and achieve happiness. Emotions are connected with what we believe will ensure our survival, not with what actually will. So now if you look at this kyun, you will realize, kya agar, if I am not a body, if I'm not who I think I am, where am I reaching? क्यों insecurity है मुझ में, क्या problem है, मेरी जड़ कहाँ है? You will understand the things about it, and then at times you'll realize that the biggest of cars, biggest of watches, the biggest of lifestyle will not give you the satisfaction as it will when you do something for the soul. So biggest of happiness sometimes is not in this money world, and that temporary we'll find, we'll resonate with it, we'll be very happy to accomplish it, but deeper down, we're not nurturing our soul. Emotions themselves are actually the cause of the basic fear that drives everyone to seek security constantly. All the time we're looking for validation. कोई हमें बोल दे I love you, कोई हमें बोल दे oh you're a nice person, oh you're doing so well. तारीफ, appreciation, because that's what is love, right? Love क्या है? Why does it love attract more? When you compliment somebody, you feel good. When you get complimented, you feel good. Your emotions are on all time high. And एक भी इंसान ने जो आपको जानता भी नहीं है, आपको कुछ बोल दिया negative, and like, oh my God, एकदम से you get sucked out. Why? Let's understand the scale of emotions. Now, the simplicity and clarity, we will utilize a scale of emotions that correspond with the level of consciousness. Yes, love is acceptance, meaning absolutely. A thorough presentation of consciousness levels, their scientific basis, their practical applications is found in the power versus force, the hidden determinants of human behavior. This similar kind of book is written by Rhonda Byrne, namely The Power. And similar kind of book is also named something to do with power with Louis Hay. Ultimately, it's all about our emotions. Now let's understand, we all are energy beings. हमने इसके बारे में कई बार बात करी है that everything in the universe is energy. हमारे बाहर भी energy है, हमारे अंदर भी energy है. We're surrounded by only energy. अभी energy positive या negative है. Negative मतलब lack of positivity है, lack of love है in that particular section. Intuitively, we know the difference between a positive person who's very friendly, genuine, considerate, and the negative one जो बड़ा greedy है, deceitful है, hateful है, complain कर रहा है. So समझ में आता है कि ये इंसान का aura कैसा है, positive है कि negative है. Now the energy of Mother Teresa was obviously different from the energy of Adolf Hitler. Most people's energy is somewhere in between the two. Music, places, books, animals, intentions, and all of life emit an energy that can be calibrated as to its essence and its degree of truth. Life goes to like. The different energies constellate in attractive patterns or levels of consciousness. मैं किस चीज डिग्री पे किस एनर्जी पे रेजोनेट करती हूँ मैं वैसा ही अट्रैक्ट करती हूँ. अगर मैं खुश रहती हूँ, अच्छा फील कर रही हूँ, अच्छा वर्ल्ड से आ रही हूँ, वैसा ही सामने और होता जाएगा होता जाएगा होता जाएगा. इसलिए बोलते हैं embrace an attitude of gratitude. उससे मैजिकल शिफ्ट्स आते हैं लाइफ में एंड आप एक अट्रैक्ट करते हो एवरीथिंग दैट यू डिजायर बिकॉज योर फ्रीक्वेंसी इज हाई. Now, the map of consciousness, which is going to come very soon, provides a linear logarithmic view of the non-linear energetic terrain. Each level of consciousness or attractor pattern is calibrated on a logarithmic scale of energetic. I want energetic power ranging from 1 to 1000. The level of full enlightenment, 1000, at the top of the map presents the highest level attainable in the human realm. It is this energy which Christ had, Buddha had, Krishna had, that's what they say. And the level of shame, minus map 20 Mario, is at the bottom, close to death, representing bare survival. If any one of you know, हमने power book में वो high, heavy feelings and low feeling का chart किया था. It's basically all the good things जहाँ भी अच्छा लगता है ऊपर की तरफ होता है. And एक line आती है which is called tipping line, जहाँ भी हम डाउन होते हैं सारी एनर्जी हैवी हो जाती है. You just feel very very heavy. अपने आप को आपको मालूम पड़ जाएगा, बॉडी समझ में आ जाएगा कि बॉडी अभी चाह रही है कुछ करना, जंप करना एक्साइटमेंट में, या बॉडी बोले ना छोड़ो ना. Which energy are you resonating at? The level of courage is a critical point that marks a shift from negative to positive energy. दबका जज्बा मुझ में ये है कि नहीं है. It is the energy of integrity, being truthful, empowerment, and having the capacity to cope. The level of consciousness below courage are destructive, whereas the level above it are life supportive. A simple muscle test reveals the difference. Negative stimuli below 200 instantly weakens the muscles, and positive stimuli above 200 instantly strengthens the muscle. True power किसमें आता है? Strengthening में. और force हमें weaken कर देता है, right? So above the level of courage, people seek us out because we give energy to them. जब हम courage हमारे अंदर हिम्मत होती है, हम बोलते हैं मैं करूंगा, तो और भी साथ में magnetic effect आता है. लोग बोलेंगे अरे ये बोल रहा है ये करेगा, let me join him or her. And then people have a goodwill कि अरे हम भी साथ में attach हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि उनका courage बहुत ज्यादा है. Now people avoid us because we take energy from them. We want to use them for our own material emotional needs. कई लोग क्या होते हैं, खुद नेगेटिव होते हैं, बट आपके ऑरा में आ जाते हैं, they deplete you of your goodness. and आपको लगता है कि अरे इतना किया, एकदम से you fall sick, you just feel, why is it happening? To understand this, let's understand that here we are delineating the basic scale starting from the highest energy down to the lower one. So अगर हम peaceful हैं, जिसका बहुत high parameter है, 600 पे parameter है, It's experienced as perfection, bliss, effortlessness, oneness. It's a state of non-duality. There's nothing separateness, and you're just one. Because intellect, as in the peace that passeth all understanding. So it's there within that, because beyond all understanding, beyond everything, all you find is absolute illuminating peace, the peace which makes you feel as one. It's described as illumination and enlightenment. It is a rare in the human realm. Very few people are peaceful all the time, 24/7. एक time आएगा you're peaceful, but एक time आएगा you want something. Now joy. इसका parameters क्या है? 540. Love that is unconditional, unchanging, despite circumstances, actions of others. The world is illuminated by exquisite beauty, which is seen in all projection of self-hatred onto evil. So let's understand this. We are going to be coming to a point where perfection of creation is self-evident, where life is beautiful, where there's so much closeness to unity, there's discovery, there's self. अपने आप को समझ पाते हैं हम. Compassion दूसरों के लिए हो जाएगा, बहुत सारी patience आ जाएगी. The feeling of oneness with others and a concern for their happiness. A sense of self-completion and self-sufficiency prevails. This is when you're joyful, very, very joyful. You're very happy you've done it. Oh my God, everything is great. मैं अच्छा करूँ, दूसरे भी अच्छा करें, सब कुछ अच्छा है, मैं complete हूँ, but let me help others also. You patiently will try and help them. You'll have compassion, you'll have empathy, and of course, that feeling of oneness to rahega hi. Love. Now, somebody will say that love is the highest parameter. For how come love ko 500 point mile, baki ko, itne sare point mile? It's very simple. Love is what gets you to become peaceful. When you start accepting everything, like love, you say, is helping you accept everything. When you start accepting everything and live that life joyfully, that's when peace comes. So if you see this chart, we'll go down to up. Now, love ka jab humne bola hai, what is love? It's a way of being that is forgiving, nurturing and supportive. Kuch bhi hua, it's okay. साथ खून भी माफ है, it's fine, we don't judge, it's all right, everything is okay. हमें बस आगे बढ़ना है, support करना है. Universe has a back, life has a back. Mother Earth is nurturing us. We have everything in our life. We are forgiving. Forgiving means we are grown up for forgiving love. We are meant for that. It does not proceed from the mind. Rather, it emanates from the heart. Dil se. Love is all from heart, right? Diya itni bolega, fall in love with life. You thought I want to fall in love, but this will feel right. Compassion is very much a part of joy, empathy, compassion for others. It's a joyful feeling. Agar hame compassion hai, to joyful hai. It's definitely in the fact of joyful. In the same thing, it's above love. Love hai to compassion hoga. Compassion बिना love के नहीं हो सकता. तो joy love से आगे है और joy की category में है. So joy it is. Now, love जब आता है, it's going to focus on a sense of a situation, not the details. Love है generic love है. ये नहीं कि इसकी वजह से conditional love नहीं कि ऐसा होगा तो love होगा. ऐसा फिर उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Conditional love. अब ऐसा अगर मेरी तरह I like this thing, अगर ऐसा हो गया तो अरे I'm in love. Of course वो तो होगा ही. फिर तो conditional love. That's not true love. That's just conditional love. Now, love deals with wholes, not particulars. As perception is replaced with vision, it takes no position and sees the intrinsic value and lovability of all that exists. जब love होगा ना, तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्या है क्या नहीं है. You're just valuing everything and everything is love. That's all there is. Reason, 400 points. This aspect differentiates humans from the animal world. There is an ability to see things in the abstract, to conceptualize, to be objective, and to make rapid, correct decisions. Its enormous utility is problem solving. Science, philosophy, medicine, and logic expressions of this level. Reasoning भी important होती है, right? अगर हमारी reasoning नहीं होगी, तो हम आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे? आपने कभी realize किया कि आपको किसी ने कोई बोल दिया कि ये चीज कर लो, और आप पूछते हो क्यों? जब रीजन मिलता है तो राह मिलती है. बिना उसके ये लग अच्छा मैं ब्लाइंडली कर लेता हूँ, बट आपको जब रीजन नहीं है नहीं समझ में आएगा. इसीलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं इन वेदांता प्रश्नेव भाव, क्वेश्चनिंग एटीट्यूड, ऑलवेज बी अ सीकर, नेवर शर्क टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस. कभी मत सोचो कि व्हाट आई मेक एन एस आउट ऑफ मी. वी आर ऑल नोविसेस हियर, वी आर ऑल लर्निंग, वी आर ऑल सीकिंग. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बिकम अ सीकर. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट to अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई वी हैव बीन गिवन अ ह्यूमन लाइफ. हमारे अंदर चित्त ही तो है, इंटेलेक्ट ही तो है जो हमें क्वेश्चन करवाता है. अगर हमें चित्त नहीं है, इंटेलेक्ट नहीं, तो हम तो फिर जानवर की तरह ही है ना. हम यूज ही नहीं कर रहे अपने आप को. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू यूज रीजन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इससे हम कुछ भी चीज को एक समझते हैं कि क्यों है ये चीज, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, हम डिसीजंस जल्दी ले पाते हैं. जब रीजन होता है तो बहुत अमेजिंग होता है. इसीलिए साइंस, इसलिए फिलोसफी आई है, इसलिए ये सारी बुक्स आई, कोचेस आए, इन सब दे मास्टर्ड दिस. इसलिए मेडिसिन आया, इसलिए लॉजिक आया, इसलिए मैजिक भी आए हैं. कई लोग बोलते हैं कि क्यों होता है, हमारे समझ के बियॉन्ड है. समझ के बियॉन्ड नहीं है, मैजिक है. ये भी एक लॉजिक है, ये भी एक रीजन है. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. एक्सेप्टेंस, वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट. जब हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे, रीजंस आएंगे, तब हम लव की वर्ल्ड में आएंगे, तब जॉय आएगा, तब हमारा पीस आएगा. 99.9% पीपल अभी भी इस सेशन में जो हैं एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाते सब कुछ को कंप्लीटली. अपने आप को शायद कर लेंगे, दूसरों को शायद कर लेंगे, बट अपने आप को, दूसरों को, चीजों को करना हमारे हमारे एक्चुअली स्कोप के बाहर है. क्यों? अभी हम पहुंचे ही नहीं. इसकी एनर्जी क्या होती है? सब ठीक है यार, सब बढ़िया है, सब कुशल मंगल है, अरे एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग ऑन, लाइफ इज गोइंग गुड. कई लोग बोलते हैं लाइफ कैसे चल रही है? कट रही है, चल रही है. दैट मीन्स कि आप तो ऑलरेडी डिप्लीटेड एनर्जी से हो ना. जो लोग एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं शायद कई बार लेड बैक भी होते हैं, वो गो गेटर्स नहीं होते, वो एम्बिशियस नहीं होते, क्योंकि उनको सब कुछ इज ओके. वो हार्मनी में विश्वास करते हैं, दे फ्लेक्सिबल, दे इंक्लूसिव. एक्सक्लूसिव क्लब्स नहीं बनाएंगे कि एक्सक्लूसिव है, सबको इंक्लूड कर लो, इट्स ओके. एंड दे फ्री फ्रॉम ऑल काइंड ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस. जब आप एक्सेप्ट करें तो रेजिस्टेंस किस बात का होगा कि ये नहीं होगा, ऐसे हो जाएगा, ये नहीं होगा, ऐसे होगा. ऐसे लोग क्या बोलते हैं? ए लाइफ इज रॉकिंग यार, लाइफ इज गुड, you and I'm good, yeah, everything is great, we all won, how does it matter, आज ये हो गया, कल हो गया, it's okay यार, no bad है. वो फटाफट आपको अच्छा फील करवाते हैं. वो ब्लेम नहीं करते, वो बोलते हैं इट्स ओके यार, हुआ होगा, मैंने भी कुछ किया होगा यार, अपने आप को मत ब्लेम करो. दे मेक द अदर पर्सन फील बेटर कि इट्स ऑल राइट. एंड दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ये मैग्नानिमिटी नहीं है, ये हमारी एक्सेप्टेंस. अगर हम बोले हम मैग्नानिमस हैं, लार्ज हार्टेड हैं, तो फिर आपने अपने आप को फिर एक लेबल लगा दिया. So very important to just accept everything as is. मैंने कल भी क्वेश्चन ये कहा था, this word namely willing, it's the most important, because अगर हमारी will नहीं है, if we're not willing, we can never ever do something. हम कितना ही बोले I am this, I am that, I am that, पर अगर हमें वाकई में बनना है तो हमें एफर्मेशन में वो बनने के लिए बोलना I am willing to become that. I am guiding my energy to become that. This energy subserves survival by virtue of a positive attitude that welcomes all expressions of life, is friendly, helpful, wants to assist and seeks to be of service. अगर हम बोलते हैं I am willing, तो हम अपने अंदर की एनर्जी को इनवाइट कर रहे हैं जो हमेशा हेल्प करती है, जो वेट कर रही है आपको हेल्प करने के लिए, बट आपने उसको आगाह ही नहीं किया, आपने उसको बुलाया ही नहीं, आपने उसको इनवाइट ही नहीं किया, आपने उसको एक्नॉलेज ही नहीं किया. So that's why I always say willing word use karna is easy. I'm willing to be super healthy. I'm willing to be very calm. I'm willing to be at this weight. I'm willing to embrace a beautiful life. I'm willing to become, a very accepting kind of a person. Willing se niche aata hai neutrality. So I'm neutral about this. This is a way of life that is comfortable, pragmatic, relatively free of emotionality. It's okay either ways. It's free of rigid positions, non-judgmental, non-competitive. This is pretty close to willingness, huh? Very, very close to it. Because you're neutral. Ki jo hoga, everything is fine. Courage, himmat chahiye. The energy says, I can do it. And ye bahut baar life mein aata hai. It is determined, excited about life, productive, independent, and self-powering. Effective action is possible. इसके नीचे सब कुछ लो एनर्जी, लो फ्रीक्वेंसी जोन में है. अगर हमारे अंदर हिम्मत है, संकल्प है, जज्बा है, तो हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं जर्नी को. और हिम्मत ही नहीं, विलिंग ही नहीं है, और हम एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहे, तो कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला. सो पहली बात तो हिम्मत, इंटेंशन, संकल्प कि यस आई कैन डू इट, यस मेरा ये मंशा है, यस मुझे करना है. इसके बाद एक्शंस आते हैं. इसके नीचे सिर्फ लो 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 एनर्जी जोन है. हमने कहा था करेज इज द डिविजन जोन, इसके नीचे सब लो एनर्जी आएगा. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड लो एनर्जी. सबसे मतलब गुड फॉर पास लेकिन फिर भी लो इज प्राइड, ईगो. आई, मी, एम, मेरी बॉडी, मेरा घर, मेरा हस्बैंड, मेरी गाड़ी, मेरा बच्चा, मेरी बेबी, मेरा मेरा मेरा. मैं जो बोलता हूँ बिल्कुल ठीक है, मेरी बात सुन लिया करो ना, कभी सुनते ही नहीं हो. माई वे इज द बेस्ट वे. जहाँ ये हम बोलते हैं, यहाँ हमारा लेवल ही बतला देता है कि हम किस टाइप के लोग हैं. हमारा फोकस क्या होता है? एम्बिशन, अचीवमेंट. मैं ये नहीं बोल रही एम्बिशन अचीवमेंट इज बैड, लेकिन आप फ्लेक्सिबल हो, विलिंग टू लर्न हो, या आप बोले बस मैंने सोच लिया ना ऐसा ही होना है. एंड मुझे सोसाइटी में मान चाहिए, लोग मुझे रिकग्नाइज करें, मुझे स्पेशल फील कराएं, मैं परफेक्शन में जाऊं. परफेक्शन इन इटसेल्फ इज अ मिथ. क्या आपके लिए परफेक्ट है, क्या मेरे लिए परफेक्ट है, उसमें भी अंतर है. बट इसमें सुपरियोरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स आता है प्राइड होने से. आई मीन एम आता है. इसके नीचे आता है एंगर. सबको पता है एंगर इज बैड, राइट? एंगर कब आता है? जब जो मैंने चाहा वो नहीं हुआ, तो फिर मुझे तो गुस्सा आएगा ही ना, मेरे हिसाब से नहीं हुआ. मैंने कहा था ऐसा होगा तो अच्छा होगा, ऐसा नहीं होगा तो ऐसे लोग को एक सेकंड लगता है पुट ऑफ होने में, बिकॉज वो ऐसे चाहते हैं. ऐसा जब तक हो रहा है दे वेरी नाइस पीपल. तो मेरे ऐसे नहीं हुआ, गुस्सा, बवाल. This energy overcomes the source of fear by force, threats, attack, irritable, explosive, bitter, volatile, resentful. It likes to get even, as I'll show you. So anger में revenge भी आता है. इसके नीचे क्या होता है? Desire. हमेशा desire क्या होता है? It's seeking, helping us gain, acquisition, pleasure, getting something outside oneself. It is insatiable, never satisfied, craving. अभी ये हो गया तो अब ये चाहिए, ये हो गया तो अब ये चाहिए. Nothing is ever good. I have to give it. Give me what I want. Give it to me now. हमेशा इसके बाद insatiable desire कभी खत्म ही नहीं होती. डर, fear. This energy sees danger, which is everywhere. It is avoidant, defensive, preoccupied with security, possessive of others, jealous, restlessness, anxious, and vigilant. I don't think I want to elaborate on this. हमको पता है fear क्या होता है, कैसी feelings आती हैं. चटपटाहट होती है, घबराहट होती है. You're just non-plan. Your fear कि अरे उससे better ना हो जाए, उसका मुझसे better ना हो जाए. इसमें बहुत ज्यादा जेलसी का रोल प्ले होता है. एंड बिकॉज हम कंप्लीट नहीं फील करते, वी वांट सिक्योरिटी, सो डर रहता है कि अरे ये है. एंड ह्यूमन बींग्स में बहुत प्रिडोमिनेंट फैक्ट है, बहुत ज्यादा. ग्रीफ, हेल्पलेसनेस है, डिस्पेयर है, लॉस है, रिग्रेट है. पहले कर लिया तो अच्छा होता, अब बहुत लेट हो गया, पछतावा, क्या हो गया उसके बारे में आज तक चलता ही आ रहा है. सेपरेशन हो जाता है, डिप्रेशन, सैडनेस, लूजर माइंडसेट, मोर्नफुल, आई कांट गो ऑन, अब मैं बस नहीं कर सकता. ऐसे लोगों को डिप्रेशन बहुत जल्दी जाता है, जो हर समय ग्रीफ 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 करते रहते हैं या लेट को नहीं कर पाते. Apathy, number 50. This energy is characterized by hopelessness, playing dead, being a drain to others, being immobilized, and the feelings I can't or who cares. Poverty is common. ऐसे लोग लगता है कि मेरा तो कोई महत्व ही नहीं है, अस्तित्व ही नहीं है, मैं तो कोई nobody cares for me. मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ, I'm just an extra. मेरा तो I'm absolutely nothing. ऐसे लोग एकदम ही होपलेसनेस होते हैं. ऐसे लोग बैठे बैठे कुछ भी काम नहीं करते, बेगर्स बन जाते हैं, या डिपेंडेंट बन जाते हैं कि ये पैसे कमा के ला रही है, वो ला रहा है, ऐसा. बिकॉज they're full of down feeling zone. Guilty. Now in this energy field, one wants to punish and be punished. It leads to self-rejection, masochism, remorse, feeling bad, self-sabotage. It's all my fault. Accident proneness, suicidal behavior, and projection of self-hatred onto evil others are common. It is the basis of many psychosomatic illnesses. और ये गिल्ट की वजह से 99% बॉडी में वेट रहता है. इस गिल्ट की वजह से 99% लोग अपने आगे अचीव नहीं कर पाते, बिकॉज दे आर गिल्टी कि मैंने जो किया सही नहीं किया, मैंने रॉन्ग किया, बिकॉज दे आर जस्ट दैट टाइम फीलिंग दे फीलिंग ड्रजरी. लास्ट इसमें आता है शेम. Now, shame जो आता है, it's all about humiliation. Tomorrow we'll read about shame in detail because it's to understand shame and to understand emotions. ये last है, but इतना important है shame को समझना कि क्यों हमें life में why do we feel shameful. We all know what is shame, but इसकी science भी समझना कि हम कैसे इससे बाहर निकलें. That is very important. So इसलिए हम saying ये कल करने वाले हैं shame के बारे में. Today as of now. So very important to start measuring ourselves in this world. Rahul, so you can bring on the creative thinking. Let's now start analyzing किस चैप्टर में किस फ्रीक्वेंसी में हम रेजोनेट कर रहे हैं. What are we all about? When we understand our characteristics, okay, this is a human behavior, fine, this is where I am, and this is what I will do to become better. And जब better भी होना है, we have to ask ourselves, कि am I radiating in this better zone? Can I do this? And what should I be doing? प्रश्न भाव अपने आप से पूछें तो आंसर मिलेगा. पूछने से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आज इट्स ऑल अबाउट फीलिंग्स. आज दोनों बुक्स में फीलिंग्स के बारे में आया था, यहाँ पर भी फीलिंग्स के बारे में आया है. Think with your feelings. The teacher handed out toothpicks and semi-dried peas and asked the class to make model buildings. The children formed cubes because that's what they were used to seeing in the streets. A boy with severely bad eyesight, however, had only touch to rely on, discovered that triangle or tetrahedron felt far more solid and stable than fragile squares. He quickly constructed complicated lattice works. Due to triangle's strength as a shape, his structures were much bigger and more elegant than his classmates. The teacher was astonished and called the other children over to see the unique construction. The boy was surprised at their surprise. It had seemed natural to him. His bad eyesight prevented him from seeing the box-like lines of the houses, windows, and door frames we all surrounded by. So he had used touch and achieved better results. Did you see what happens? उसको दिख नहीं रहा है. अब उसको पता है 3 में स्ट्रेंथ आ रही है. वो सिर्फ उसको कर रहा है. इसमें अगर आएगा तो ये निकल गया तो पूरा चीज कोलैप्स करता है. So यहाँ सबको सपोर्ट है. एक भी जाएगा तो entire thing will fall. But he's going with that. Now, 2 decades later, this boy becomes a man and develops childhood structure into the beautiful, graceful geodesic dome. Based on the simple of geometric shapes, this is an incredibly strong structure that has no internal support and create gigantic spaces. It's easily constructed and transported and very economical. There are now hundreds and thousands all over the world. The boy was Buckminster Fuller. He went to become the groundbreaking American architect, designer, inventor. Now, the incident when Fuller was at kindergarten illustrates the benefits of perceiving the world differently. His vision was literally radically different to everyone else's. We think about thinking as a solution. हम सोचते हैं कि सोचने से solution आएगा. हम फोकस जाते हैं उसमें कि हम अपनी प्रॉब्लम से बाहर कैसे निकलें. Thinking our way around and thinking our way through that. We use think tanks and brainstorming. Our culture places such a huge emphasis on thinking that we neglect our senses. Technically, thinking की problem है ना, और हम उसी पे emphasize कर रहे हैं, right? Thinking से तो थोड़ा बाहर निकलना है. Analysis, yes, but now thinking can be a trap. Most of our ideas and knowledge has been inherited from our culture, school, and parents. And that all of us understand ना, हम कहाँ से किस atmosphere में पले बढ़े, उसका बहुत strong impact होता है मेरे being पे. हमें बताया जाता है कि ये सोचो, ये करो, ऐसा करना चाहिए, creative person ये है, बुरा person ये है, and that makes us very limited. And this limited thinking will only get us this far, not here. When we are limitless, the world opens up. Thinking essentially very, very, very important, but very, very, very hyped. It is also helping us destroy the other part of life because हमारी thinking conditional thinking हो गई, conducive to atmosphere thinking हो गई. We can't think straight because we have been guided to think in a particular fashion. So here we are trying to bust those perceptions. Now, many creative people find that to be an authentic version of themselves, they have to think with their senses. तभी बोलते हैं दिल से सोचो. Try feeling the feelings. ये आपकी senses से तो है heart का, the feeling, rather than the entire mechanism of this छुके, अच्छा लगता है. दिमाग की जगह थोड़ा use your senses. Our minds play a trick on us, but our feelings are trustworthy. We have been taught to choose the respectable, socially acceptable, well-trodden path that everyone else walks down. Instead, choose the path that feels right to you. So very, very important for us to understand that हमको दिल की बात सुननी चाहिए. We should start becoming hearty beings rather than feeling beings. Those feelings are important, but what comes from the heart is coming straight as guided. Charlotte Bronte says, better to be without logic than without feeling. So logic doesn't always work. हमने कितनी बार बोला है, magic logic से नहीं होते, but feeling अगर आ गई तो magic जरूर आएगा, right? So that's what we've been talking about today, is all about thinking, thoughts, feelings. And here we are in the last segment of our morning with the heart thoughts. So yes, Akshay, this book is absolutely amazing. So I brought it a little like letting go is very easy to understand also if you in for it. Refuse to choose a little tough for some of us, but it's very important to even have that science because आधी बार हम choose ही नहीं कर पाते. How wonderful. Just see again, it's about, I'm surprised all the books today had thought in it. I speak and I think positively. How wonderful. Yes, let's have someone read it for us. Power of our word. Yes, Pinaji, please come. Start listening to what you say. If you hear yourself using negative or limited words, change them. अगर हमने नेगेटिव वर्ड्स का सहारा लिया है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू चेंज देम. हमारे पास पावर है. हमको एफर्मेशंस में बात करने से बहुत फायदा होगा. सो लेट्स गो. आई स्पीक एंड थिंक पॉजिटिवली. यस प्लीज. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही बिल्कुल भी. आई डोंट नो, माइक्रोफोन्स नहीं लगे हुए कि कहाँ से आपका वॉइस ऑडियो बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही. नहीं पीना जी, नहीं आ रही. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. मिनी, विल यू वांट टू रीड? मिनी आर्या, डू यू वांट टू रीड? If you want to read, can I unmute you?
Okay. I speak and think positively. If you could understand the power of your words, you would be careful about what you say. You would talk constantly in positive affirmations. The universe always says yes to whatever you say, no matter what you choose to believe. If you choose to believe what you are not very much, and life will never be any good, and you will never get anything that you want. The universe will respond, and that is exactly what you will have. The moment you start to change, the moment you are willing to bring good into your life, the universe will respond in kind.
Okay, thank you, Minnie. Rahul sir, keep the book on right now. Anita, you can read tomorrow. Please raise your hand for heart thoughts. So, बहुत important है to understand that all of us, by now, 91 days of studies, we need to tune ourselves, rewire ourselves to think and to speak positively. बोलना बहुत easy हो जाता है कि हाँ, अब तो मैं positive बन रहा हूँ and this is what is happening, but हम क्या बोल रहे हैं उससे मालूम पड़ेगा. So watch yourself, hear yourself, listen to what you're always saying, listen and understand that okay, this is what I'm saying. मेरी programming है. और मैंने यहाँ negative बोला. Okay, correction. We are the biggest critics and we're the biggest complimenters for us. So let's start appreciating who we are becoming every single day. Let's start saying that universe is always saying yes to us, no matter what I say, no matter what I choose to believe. And the minute we start saying it, the universe will automatically start responding. So, and that's how life is. The moment we start to change, the world changes around us. The moment my perception about you changes, you change for me. The moment I see you as bad, you will be worse than bad. But the moment I see you as good, you will be better than good, better than best. It's about our thoughts, our speech, our thinking, our thoughts. Very, very important. All right, let's have a shorter meditation today. Thank you so much, Akshay, for recording. I'm not sure what I'm going to be having it. We'll talk about that in the end, maybe the question. So everyone, our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground below, our hands in a comfortable resting position on our laps, if possible, open, facing heavenwards, eyes lightly closed, a soft smile on our faces. And let's take a deep breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Life is beautiful. Life is lovable. Life is joyful because I am radiating a joy. I'm radiating with happiness. I'm radiating with love and light. The energy I emit, the frequency I have is magical. Wherever I go, prosperity follows me. I'm all about love, light, and abundance. Life has my back. The universe has my back. I'm feeling so hopeful, so delightful, so joyful in this beautiful world of mine when I'm creating life the way it's meant to be. Because now I've reprogrammed myself and I have brought to myself this beautiful feeling of being in a reasoning attitude where I reason, I question, I seek. And when I ask, I always get. When I ask, I believe, I receive. Now I accept myself and life the way it's meant to be, as whole and complete. I'm willing to learn, to take new steps. I'm willing to let go of my old attitude. I'm willing to become a new person because that is what I'm all about. I have the courage because I know that I can do whatever I want. Because everything in life is happening the way it's meant to be. This or something highest better will unfold for me is my belief. And that encourages me to move forward and gives me the courage to do things that I love. When I take up steps in life, I always tell myself, I will be flexible, and I am flexible. Because if I'm stuck, I remember that I can dip my energy very low. When I'm open and receptive, the universe opens up abundance for me. I love life because life has my back. I'm soaking in this world of joy. And ultimately, what I find is immense compassion, passion, joy, peace, love, light. And life is becoming more magical every single day. Now I'm trying to become a person who's full of emotions, a person whose feelings are resonated with her emotions, somebody who attracts everything in their life the way it's meant to be. Yes, being a human, my energy dips, but I know that I can change my energy the way I want by simply thinking about somebody who I admire or somebody who I love. And automatically, the thought in centers balance aligns me. Now I know how to handle myself and life, because life unfolds beautifully. But what I do enjoy about my life is all the ups and downs. Now I cherish the downs because I know they've come to teach me a lesson. And I am willing to learn that lesson. So I accept that downfall very easily, knowing that I am here to accept whatever is coming in my life. Yes, I refuse to choose at times because I think that's meant for a higher purpose. And then also understand and ask myself, why? Why am I refusing to choose this? Why am I not going in this path? The more questioning attitude I have, the more answers and clarity I get. Life is full of magic because I am magical. Life is nothing but a reflection of my own being. If I'm in a healthy, happier place, then life is so beautiful. The minute I'm off track, life gets off track. Now I realize it's all about my power of speech. It's all about my attitude. The attitude of gratitude makes me speak and think positively, and that is a sense of my life. As simple as my life goes, I am engulfed in this world of love and light and gratitude. Warmth receives me. I am warmth. Love receives me because I am love. Appreciation receives me because I appreciate. I'm developing and growing as a person full of virtues. The more I meditate, the more I go into my asking self, I become a receiving self. Everything around me becomes a crescendo, it just bubbles up and just becomes such a vivacious energy. Everything around me is full of magnificence. The power of my dreams makes my dreams come true because I'm resonating in a very high frequency. And as I am a channel of love and light, more love and light flows through me into the lives of so many people. I become compassionate, empathetic. I love people, and I make it a point to help, to always be there for everyone. So whether I know it or not, dear God, dear universe, dear life, make me a channel of love. Make me a channel of light. Make me a channel of blessings. Make me a channel of abundance. May all the good things roll through me. If you require me, let me be there for whoever needs me. Let it be unconditional love. Let me be a channel of love and light. Let's fold our hands. Now keep your hands maybe on your heart or keep folding, and let's bow down to Mother Earth. Dear Mother Earth, today, once again, I programmed myself. Hopefully, it's gone in a subconscious level that I am ready and willing to change and to be the channel for love and light and blessings. Having said that, I'm so grateful to you for nourishing me, nurturing me every single day with your immense love and light. Thank you for giving me all the virtues I spoke about, because you are a living being for that. Mother Gaia, Sister Gaia of the Saptarishis, you are magical. Thank you for breathing this gorgeous light into me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we can look at the eye level, and hands can still be on a heart or folded. And we can thank our wonderful life lessons experiences. We are nurtured, nourished, enriched, enlivened, empowered with all that we have learned and are still learning. This is what makes us so special. The person who loves accepts for what he or she stands for. The person who reflects deep within. I am that person, and I'm powerful because I have the power of love in me. It's not about I am me and am. It's not about the ego. It's about me being just an acceptor and just a love-filled channel. Let me be the channel of love. And let's look up at the universe, open our hands brightly. And the way we had our hands on our heart, now imagine your hands on your heart, though your hands are open, and tell the universe, I love you. I know you have my back. I know you give me whatever I desire. And thank you for always doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all the special beings there, the spiritual masters, the gurus, the divinities, the angels, the guardians, whoever, wherever. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showering us the choices to our best. We are so blessed and we are so grateful on this Soulful Sunday. Let's fold our hands. Be grateful once again for whoever, wherever, whatever. Rub them together. Bless your face, especially your eyes. May we see better, hear better, feel better, and do better. May we speak kindly. May we know that we are heard. Bless your shoulders, your neck, arms, back, full body, upper to lower, feet, soles, lower to upper front body. And now open your arms to bless all Sanghamitras, all sentient beings, everyone on Mother Earth. Jitendraji, Ruchi, Akshay, Dr. Kamakshi, Manish, Mini, Vijayji, Pratimaji, Surinderji, Pinaji, Anita, Asmeet, Nisha, Neha, Rahul sir, Amrita ma'am, and to all participants. Lots of love, lots of love. May you have a beautiful, soulful Sunday, and may you learn to see how you're resonating and what you're resonating, what kind of emotions you're having, what kind of challenges you're having. Let's learn to accept them and grow gracefully with each one of them, imbibing and willing to become the better versions of ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see each other tomorrow at 5. Atma Namaste. Thank you.